Welcome back to the Two Pointers podcast. I'm Trevor Everett, and as you'll tell by the fact that I'm looking down, adjusting my mic 32 times, voice is going to be a little shot for this one, but we're not going to let it damper the fun or damper the mood. Thank you for the fun over the last couple of weeks tuning into the episodes of Trivia Showdown. We're back once more here again with some first-timers to this channel. I'm not a first-timer to theirs. I was able to drop in, and we talked about some really unbelievable hypotheticals. Like, when they sent them to me, I was like, I'm so glad we're doing this because I just never would have thought of this. And don't get me wrong, there were some comments on some of the Instagram videos that like people were mad at like angry at some of the responses. So without further ado, we'll introduce these guys. I'll do some ads between questions and stuff. We'll spare it at the beginning because, as you can tell, fighting off something here. Starting off the week, just got back from Phoenix for a bachelor party, so I'm sure that didn't contribute to this voice. Shout out to the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals for having thousands of people around probably. But these are the guys from the Green Light Podcast, one of them based here in North Carolina, one of the other based in Columbus, as their bio says, and we'll get to it a little bit. Both graduates of the – do you guys call it the Ohio University? Is that like a thing, or is it Ohio University?
Ohio, the state university.
I would like to use this opportunity to note that the first university in the state of Ohio was Ohio University, 1804. That's awesome. First university in the Northwest Territory, to be exact. So we'll just leave it there.
That's really cool. First of all, I knew the first one in the state, didn't know about the territory part of it. It is a really awesome drive when you come in. I know I'm not introducing you guys yet, but like I've made that drive 1,000 times. My wife's family's from Columbus, so I've had spent a lot of time up there in the last 3.5 years. So, but yeah, just a beautiful drive into town. So anyway, introduce you guys today. First, I'm going to introduce Paul. Paul is one half of the Green Light Podcast. Paul, how are you?
I'm a little nervous, man. I'm not super confident. I'm confident that I know some things. I'm not confident they're going to be the things I know of the 10 questions you're asking. And I'm also going up against a savant in trivia. We played some Barstool trivia. Ian was just at my house for the past weekend. Played some Barstool trivia, and Ian swept the floor with me. So I'm not coming in confident.
It's really not fair. He's setting way too high of a bar right now and an expectation that I do not agree to go along with.
Are you not taking the crown? I'm giving you the crown.
No.
We're going to find out who's getting the crown. Ian, how are you?
I'm doing great. I made a little pit stop at our alma mater of Ohio University. And like I said, I'm confident in my college basketball knowledge. So much of it is so obscure that I'm not sure where we're going to go with this. So I'm excited to get rolling.
So lucky for you, apparently, Paul, sorry to say this, but the point of being difficult is to be obscure. And we're going to find out how obscure you think this is after this. I'll ask you. If I don't remember after question 10, let me know. Or actually, let's do it after the finale. But the last college basketball trivia, the guy did 19 of them, and I thought it was one of the hardest questions I've ever hardest sets of questions I've ever put together. He scored 19, Carl from Jim Range podcast, and also we had a question in there about like the 1941 NCAA tournament. So like we'll see what happens. Like it could go south very quickly. I am going to introduce the rules to those that are new here, and these guys will hear it once again. I did tell them off the air, of course, but. Just a quick rundown here. Question 1 through 10 will be a combination of 2 multiple choice, free answer, and then some fun game categories in there that will help make free answer a little less nauseating. The point is the 3 rules. I kind of say they're not really any rules. I added a 4th one. I guess you're supposed to write an answer every time because it may elicit a hilarious response or hilarious moment, which we appreciate, of course, around here for virality and fun. But the 3 rules really actually are have fun, learn something, and be difficult, right? We want this to actually be something where people walk away and go, I learned that today. And I learn a lot making these questions, which is why I want to share them with the world. So, and then the finale, you'll have 60 seconds where we'll get a score update at half and we'll get a score update at 10. Will help me from not having to put in the score on YouTube 64 times. But we'll get a score update at halftime. I ask you a fun little question there in the middle that won't be for any points. And then also in the finale, like I said, you won't get any penalization for 60 seconds. Writing wrong answers, you'll write as many as you can in that time frame. We'll get the tally at the end, see who won. And I'll go over the finale format one more time at the end as well. So are we ready to play?
Let's do it.
I'll try to keep the intros to 5 minutes, and we were at 5:01, so that's perfect. Nice. All right, so question number 1. Again, I'm going to try to fight through with this voice here, so try to make it kind of still dramatic and fun, etc. So we talked about, and you guys are wearing green. It makes the orange look really good. I think it's a great contrast. But for those on YouTube, that was my plug for you to come over here and watch it. But we're, of course, not going to not ask an Ohio basketball question, right? I think it would be ridiculous not to, right? I would be a horrible host if I was like, let's just not do it. So question number 1 is going to be an Ohio basketball question. What Ohio University player scored the single highest game for the school in NCAA tournament game in 2010 versus Georgetown? So I fumbled the grammar a little bit. But what Ohio University player scored the school's single highest scoring game, I wrote that down funny, in NCAA tournament in 2010 versus Georgetown? And I will tell you for what it's worth. I'll tell you if it's a fun format or if it's multiple choice. And I did not say anything, so this is not one of those. This is you know it, you don't, I don't care, write an answer. And there's no real time limit on these, by the way. I'll give you a few minutes. You can talk it out. I do think the earlier, they're supposed to be in order from difficult or least difficult to most difficult. So in the case of like the earlier rounds, maybe 1 through 4, I'm going to ask for an answer relatively quickly. But again, we're not rushing here. We want to see if you actually come up with it. So anything you want to talk out loud, any right now, both of you kind of had a face when I said this. So it sounds like it's probably potentially a known thing.
The more time that we talk about it, the more I'm trying to wait a minute. I was
overthinking it?
Positive. Now I'm like 98% positive. And then when I was writing his name down, I was like, oh my God, did I spell his name right? I don't even know if I
so I will say this. In the finale is where spelling will be important. So if you write Shaquille O'Neal and you just write Shaq, I don't really want to count it. So we'll get to the details of the finale, but if you misspell it by a letter, I'm not really I've had it happen once or twice. It is what it is. Someone misspelled Zydrunas Ilgauskas one time by one letter, and I gave them the point because they both got the point right. It was dude, come on, it's Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Let's be real here.
Trevor, let me tell you something. If there's an answer that has I'm writing Z, and I'm taking credit.
Big Z. It's got to be Big Z, right? The nickname.
All right, I think I got my answer, Ian. You got yours?
Of course.
I love it. Okay. Nope. So we'll go Paul first, and we'll go Ian, and then we'll alternate. He'll go first, etc. All right. Armand Bassett. Go ahead, Ian.
2 T's?
Armand Bassett.
Oh!
Board.
Is it 2 T's?
It is, and you both got it. I'm floored by that.
If Paul had not gotten it, I would have been very disappointed because Paul was actually in the building for that before my Ohio tenure. But that was a nice way to start things out.
That was nice.
Dude, I thought this one was hard enough that it would be obscure, but you both crushed it. You both wrote it down in 5 Okay, I'm not surprised. You both are alumni, big basketball fans, so it kind of makes sense. Now, if I had asked you hypothetically who the leading scorer in school history was, would you have known that? There's no bonus points here. I'm just asking out of fun.
Should we write it down or just say it?
No, just say it. I'm curious.
It's got to be Gary Trent.
No, it's not Gary Trent. Gary Trent only spent 3 years.
It's up there.
Is it Walter?
It's either DJ Cooper or Dave Jamerson, I believe.
It's Dave Jamerson, and DJ Cooper's fourth. Gary, is this the Gary Trent? By the way, is this Gary Trent Senior? Is that
Gary Trent
right?
Senior? Shaq of the Map. The problem is he left early, Paul. He would have been on pace.
Wow. Yeah, there's some names out there. I mean, Gary Trent, like I said, was a name that popped up on there a few times. I recognize the name Gino Ford for some reason.
Head coach at Stony Brook. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, and look, this is me who has no idea about Ohio basketball other than maybe Jason Preston and a few others, right? Spoiler, he's not being listed today, I'm sure, if I mentioned that. But, wow, dude, congrats to both of you on that. You both earned that point for going there for 4+ years. I don't know if you guys did another year, but congrats on question number 1. So we'll just keep rolling. I mean, might as well. Question number 2 is multiple choice. We'll go ahead and knock one of these out early, unfortunately. It's a good thing you get a little, help here early, but you also are one less multiple choice down. Question number 2, which of these schools has never won an NCAA men's basketball national title? Is it A, Notre Dame, B, Ohio State, C, Cincinnati, or D, Wyoming? Is it A, Notre Dame, B, Ohio State, C, Cincinnati, or D, Wyoming? Here's the kicker. You don't have to put the letter and the school. If you just write the school or write the letter, as long as it's correct. I'd rather you write the school, would be easier. Like, oh, crap, I meant to say A. Like, just write the school. Is it Notre Dame, Ohio State, Cincinnati, or Wyoming? Which of these schools has never won an NCAA men's basketball national title? This is one of those moments, by the way, where I'm realizing in my podcasting career, I guess you're going to call it that, for 3 years, that a better mic upgrade was actually a bad thing because people are going to hear every little crack and wisp in between each breath that they're going to have to deal with because I'm trying my best here with this lemon tea. But yeah, so which of these schools, do we have an answer? Sounds like we both.
I'm pretty confident.
I'm going Notre Dame.
Okay. That was quick. Notre Dame is correct. Wow. Again, these are supposed to get harder, but we're 2 for 2 here, fellas. I mean, I'm happy for you both. I mean, we're 2 for 2 here. And
wait, can you give us when Wyoming did?
1943.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because I did recently, if you guys didn't know, and I'll put it in the description as well. I did a state ranking series. I basically spent 8 months where I power ranked all of the United States basketball based on a lot of really, really ridiculous criteria, including basketball impact, national champion in men's basketball, men's program all-time wins. Ohio's pretty up there for what it's worth. Basketball impact, I don't know if I said that, stuff like that, right? I just went through everything. NBA titles, WNBA titles, things that are relevant, high school basketball, whatever. And Wyoming was one of those cluster of states out west that just has a bunch of nothing, right? Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, history-wise, but they have a national title. So they were like the only school in that area that just was 10 or 12 spots ahead because that national title carries weight when you're going up against South Dakota. So that's the only reason I know that. So, and I can I'll send it to you fellas. You have to go read it because there's a lot of important details because I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read it. The only reason I am not going to say it is because it was controversial.
It's a good team.
Will you give us who was number 50?
51. So I included DC. 51 was Alaska because they have no Division I programs. They have no Division I programs.
Paul's going to take offense to
Trajan
that.
Langdon, my guy.
It's Trajan Langdon and Mario Chalmers, and that's about it.
You're gonna hate this even more. So here's the problem. I had to figure out a way for it to be fair, and I'll send it to you guys when we talk about it off air, right? But I did it based on born, where the player was born. So if a notable player was from there, Langdon was not born in Alaska. The only 2 NBA players of all time that were born in Alaska was Dacian Nix and Mario Chalmers. So pretty stiff competition there to be working against, right? So there was a couple of so there's a few that you're going to be reading and you're going to be like, wow, I understand why you did this, but it's wrong. So just think about players that were born places that we probably don't remember them for that. So I'll let you have that fun. But there's 5 parts. It'll all be linked in the description below for those that want to read it as well. I spent 8.5 months on it. Please, somebody go read it. But it is a lot of fun. It's just cool to see some of the history of some states that you just would have never known. Like Indiana, 13 of the 14 largest high school basketball arenas are in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
All public schools. All public schools. Makes no sense. Some of them the town is smaller than the arena can hold. So that, the arena will have 8,000, the town has 7,000. It's crazy. Basketball in Indiana is a different thing. So, all right, question number 3. It's 2-2. I don't need to get a score update because I'm keeping up with it best I can, but you also keep up with it on your little boards. It'd be great as well. Question number 3. Who is credited with coining the phrase March Madness? Who is credited with coining the phrase March Madness? It's that simple. No additional fluff or hint that you have for me, and I'll try my best here while you guys are thinking to do the first SeatGeek ad of the day before we get to the 15-minute mark. You'll see it on the screen if you're on YouTube, but feel free to use code 2pointers or link in the top of the description if you're heading to any concerts, baseball games, sporting events. There's some baseball games currently near me that you can go to for $22 on a weeknight. If you use the code 2pointers, you'll get that show for $2. You'll be able to go to a Major League Baseball game for $2. Enjoy that. Concerts, like I said, basketball's coming back. Code 2pointers, $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek is the only app right now that you are able to get a deal score as well based on popularity, based on view of your seat, value, etc. Also able to see where you're sitting within range in most stadiums in the United States. So code 2pointers, link at the top of the description. Thanks for dealing with the ad while you guys are thinking, but go ahead and get an answer here very shortly. So
I wrote one down. I know it's wrong because I read this a couple months ago, and I'm pretty sure it was like a random journalist.
Okay.
But
Well, if you're ready if you guys are locked in, I'll go ahead and ask for the answer.
Whenever, Paul.
Are you locked in?
You're up, Paul. Yep.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is what I wrote because he probably should get credit for it anyway.
He probably should.
But I know it's not him.
Close on the train. I'm not confident in this, but I went Billy Packer.
Yeah, okay.
I went Billy Packer.
R.I.P. Billy Packer, first of all. Yep. I was watching that game the day after he passed away where they put a seat out for him, and I almost shed a tear. ACC legend Billy Packer, also legend Dickie V. Not the journalist or broadcasting legend you were looking for. You guys are on the right track. The answer is CBS broadcaster Brent Musburger. Brent Musburger, excuse me, also known very famously for college football and some other things, but he did coin the term March Madness. And I'll read his quote. He was on the Rich Eisen show, I believe it was earlier this year, and it was asked how it was originated. And this is a full quote. I'm going to read it. I was the host. I was not the play-by-play man when CBS got Gary Bender. He was the original CBS guy, and I had the board where I put the names up of the teams and everything. It was a late Thursday evening after the opening games, and I said we had a couple of big upsets that night out on the West Coast, and I said, folks, this is madness. This is March Madness. And this was in 1981, I believe, if the year's correct in front of me. So
wasn't Brent the guy who, like, when they zoomed in on Kath, remember that, like, famous girlfriend of the Georgia quarterback?
Alabama. It was Catherine Webb with AJ McCarron.
And Brent, like, Musburger said something uncomfortable.
Out of pocket. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
For those that remember.
Right, so 2-2 or 2 for 3?
2, yeah.
2-2, yeah. It's
2-2. 2-2.
Yeah, we don't lose points here. Yeah, we don't lose points here.
Right.
So we'll keep rolling. Question number 4. Who is the only player in NCAA tournament history with 10 20-plus point games? Who is the only player in NCAA tournament history with 10 20-plus point games? No multiple choice, because I feel like that would have been too easy. So here we are. Who is the only player in NCAA tournament history with 10 20-plus point games? My favorite part about this show, when there is dead time, is to think about what to say that may relate to the question that may not help you. And I'll be honest with you, I have nothing, because I feel like anything I say may help you, and I want this to be hard, and it's already 2 points out of 4. So that's
sneakily confident.
Okay, that's good. I like this, though. This is the banter that helps me fill this dead space. So thank you.
Am I up first right now? I think so.
I believe you are. If you guys are both locked in, we'll go Ian first. You guys are fast today.
I'm going Bill Walton.
Bill Walton. Okay. Paul? Christian Laettner. Both really good guesses. Both NCAA tournament legends. But if you can tell by the tone of my voice, if you can tell between the raspiness, it may not be correct because of the way I said it. Gonzaga Bulldog. Drew Timme averaged 27-3 on 62 field goal percentage points in his last 3 years at Gonzaga, and in that time frame, he had 10 20-point plus games. Drew Timme, the only player in NCAA tournament history.
I'm going to go ahead and make an argument that I should get a half a point because Drew Timme is just Christian Laettner in 2023.
Hey, Christian Laettner could rebound, Drew Timme could not. So I guess he could, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I would give Laettner the rebounding bump there, but anyway, I won't slander Drew Timme too hard. But so not a bad start. I know you guys are through 4 questions. It's still 2-2. Again, this is supposed to get harder, right? We're getting to the fun stuff here, right? And we'll get to some fun formats here shortly. So, and then after question 5, I'll ask you a fun little format question as well. So question number 5, from 1977 to 2022, at least one men's basketball program made the NCAA tournament from this group of schools called blank. So from 1977 to 2022, at least one men's basketball program made the NCAA tournament from this group of schools called blank. What is this group of schools called with some sustained success? From 1977 to 2022, one men's basketball program made the NCAA tournament from this group of schools called blank. What could this group of school be called? Again, this is another one of those questions where I feel like I'm just going to plead the Fifth Amendment, and if I have to edit out some silence, it is what it is. So if there's any thought process out loud that may not reveal it to your opponent here, feel free, be my guest. If not, it's okay. I will fill time the best I can and be thinking, obviously, about your answers.
Oh, my God. All right. I have nothing. Hang on.
I have nothing. I love this.
I think I got it. I think I got it.
By the way, there is an acceptable answer here, and if you're close, like I'm going to be lenient on the verbiage of the way this is written. I'll give you that as a kind of hint. So, like, I will determine. I have two things written down. If it's one of the two, I'll be happy with the answer.
Ian, what was the word you used when we were watching Barstool Trivia? And you were like, "No, Prez is good because he doesn't."
He's decisive.
Yeah, but what was he was like? He doesn't waffle.
Yeah, he doesn't waffle.
Waffle. I feel like this is.
Gotta go for it. Yeah.
All right, me or you?
We both locked in.
Yep, I'm locked in.
Odd, I believe Paul is up. Go right ahead. Okay, Ian.
I'm all over. I said Blue Bloods.
Ooh.
So both really good guesses. I'm gonna give you a little backstory on this. So this cluster of schools that now is including 6. It used to be 5. It is now 6. Has 4 of the top 50 all-time wins programs, which is nuts to think about. Temple is 7th, Villanova is 20th, Penn is 24th, and St. Joseph's is 49th. The correct answer is the Big 5, also known as, I would have taken the Philly 5. Or the Philadelphia 5. I would have taken either. I know it as the Philly 5. I call it that. But the Big 5 is the true actual answer. So that's a great pull there,
great
Paul.
Paul.
Temple, for those that don't know, it's made up of Temple, Villanova, Penn, St. Joseph's, LaSalle, and then as of 2023-24 season, they're going to be adding Drexel. And they're going to try to play in the future potentially some kind of small tournament. So that'd be really cool to see how they pull that off. It is really neat, too, because it's kind of a really historic area, knowing, like I said, some of the lineage, the history, like I said, of Temple being top 7. The only thing that really messes with the Philly folk is technically Villanova, I think, is an outside school, and everything else is. So technically, if you wanted to be technical, Villanova would be the one they'd kick and then bring in Drexel, because Drexel's technically in Philly. For those of you from Philly, you can correct me on that. That was from all Google research and having a lot of fun trying to find the answer. So for those that would get mad at that, I guess you can sue me. I don't know. But great pull there, Paul.
For those keeping score at home, it is 3-2.
Yeah, love that. I'm not even asking where it'll be easy, little editing marks. I can put a little bookmark in the editing program and say, look, that's where he said that. Boom, done. Keep it rolling. I love that. I am going to ask you guys after question number 6. I'll actually ask you the little halftime update after question number 6. So without further ado, we'll go on to question number 6. This is a closest to the number format. So this is our first little fun format that we were going to get to. Question number 6 is closest to the number. Kentucky is one of the most storied programs in college basketball history. By the way, unless I say otherwise, this is all men's. I never said that at the top, but I think we figured that out by now. Is one of the most storied programs in college basketball history. They have been ranked 55 times in the preseason AP poll and finished the season 54 times in the final AP poll. Pretty impressive resume there. Closest to the number without going over gets the point. If you both go over, it's whoever's closest. We're going to go Price is Right style there. How many total weeks has Kentucky been named in the AP poll in program history? How many total weeks has Kentucky been named in the AP poll in program history? I'll reread the question while you're thinking. I'll reread the question for context, and here's why I'll read it. Kentucky is one of the most storied programs. They've been ranked 55 times preseason, 54 times final AP. How many times in totality have they been ranked in a week, or total weeks have they been ranked in the AP poll? Kentucky. Literally, probably those would say probably the greatest program of all time. This is not like we're talking about Drexel here, We're not talking about Fairleigh Dickinson here. No disrespect to either of those programs. I almost said Ohio. But
I was never good at math. All right, so everybody relax. I throw this number out there.
Talk it out, write it out. Like I said, there's no bad answers here. Especially on this format, you could be closer than you think.
Yeah, we're saying like the season. So we're saying November.
No, total weeks. Yeah, total weeks. I mean, like total weeks in program history. Yeah. I mean, I guess it counts all those seasons, yeah. Love that. Love that logic, though. You're talking it out loud. This is why we do this, right? It may help him out a little bit, but you never know.
You got to assume that they've basically been ranked for our entire lives. Past that, I mean,
maybe so. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a large number. Are we allowed to pull out calculators?
Someone asked last week, and I said no. So, in the fairness of this game's integrity, I'm going to say no.
Hands up here. No calculators.
No, I don't. It's good. It's a good question. It's been asked back-to-back weeks. It was never asked for 7 episodes prior, but then 2 weeks in a row, people were like, calculators? I'm like, nah, I don't. Why not? It's supposed to be hard, but why not? No.
I feel embarrassed, but
people have said that before and then been within 12 points of the answer. So you never know. You'd be surprised. Trying to alternate water and tea here so we can make it through the home stretch of this episode, 35 minutes hopefully within, which we're making great time. Guys, don't stress about that. Take your time on the answers. Think.
Am I thinking about this right?
Because you're going to want to think of the next 5, I promise. They do get progressively harder. At least in my opinion.
Hang on.
I was really impressed with the Philly 5 question with myself. This is a humble brag, by the way. This is me filling time. I love the Philly 5. It's my second favorite thing in college basketball when it comes to like areas of college basketball because it's super important for the history as well as the fact that like nothing's ever going to take out Tobacco Road. Let's just be upfront. I was really hoping you guys would get tricked and write Tobacco Road. That was kind of my hope there. But which you are Blue Bloods, that considers all of them, right? But
yeah,
it's not a bad guess, to be fair. But then it's like, who's really a Blue Blood? No, that's not a debate we're having today, but it's a debate we've had in the last 6 months, I'm sure, on other shows and whatnot. But all right,
Paul,
do we
ready?
have an answer?
I'm ready to lock in.
All right, I
win 1,650.
Okay, Paul.
It could be way. I don't know.
Okay, you're like I'm just dart throw. Love it. So Ian's going to be correct. You both are over.
Damn.
948 times Kentucky has been ranked. That is the most all time, by the way. North Carolina is second with just over 930. So pretty close there. And then Duke and Kentucky, Duke, UCLA, and I looked at one more, Kansas, are all in the 800s. Yeah. So question number 6 was 900.
I don't feel great that I almost doubled the answer, but I'll take the point.
When you put it like that, that's pretty funny. I didn't think about that.
I'll take the point. 3-3.
Love that. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys. We're going to take a little halftime break here. I love this question. We've had some hilarious responses. Don't overthink it. But, Paul, after 6 questions, however many questions it's been, halftime here, how are you feeling in 3 words? You don't have to write it down. You can say it. Someone wrote it down last week.
It's my game.
Okay. Ian?
Second half team.
Okay, even though you're up, second half team, right?
No, it's 3-3. It's 3-3.
That's true. It is 3-3. See, look, this is why you guys keep up with the score because I can't write it down and talk in the mic at the same time, not having to hold it. So that's fun. Thank you for doing that for me. I was literally about to ask each individual score here, but I'll be able to throw 3-3 right on the screen when you say it. So that'll be perfect. Making my editing life so much easier. Thank you so much. All right, so it is 3-3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more regular questions, and then a finale. And then we'll have, like I said, a couple more fun formats left, I hope. So, all right, question number 7. This one's multiple choice, so we're knocking out the last multiple choice a few before question number 10. Sorry about that. Only 3 men can claim champion status as both a player and a coach all time. Which of these 4 coaches did not win a national championship as both a player and a coach? Is it A, Joe B. Hall, B, Roy Williams, C, Dean Smith, or D, Bob Knight? Which of these 4 coaches did not win a national championship as both a player and a coach? I'm just rereading the question for the sake of those of you watching or listening, on Spotify, Apple, and all of our lovely podcast platforms. Which of these 4 coaches did not win a national championship as both a player and a coach? Is it Joe B. Hall, Roy Williams, Dean Smith, or Bob Knight? I would say all legendary coaches. Pretty unanimous decision there that all of those are legend coaches, which makes this question even more fun, I think, in the grand scheme of how long college basketball has been tracking the NCAA tournament since 1939.
This is hard because
and it's multiple choice. That's the beauty of the show.
My thought process.
Love this.
I have my answer locked in.
There's one clear guy that does, to me, I mean, unless I'm like just whiffing on history here, that like doesn't belong, and it's almost like, well, that guy probably didn't do it. But then you're like, well, hang on now, because now I'm thinking about Bob Knight. I'm like, did he win a natty as a player? No way. Did he? I'm like Roy and Dean. I'm like, they probably did. I don't know. I know they did as coaches, but like, am I gonna put Joe B. Hall? Ian, do you know who that is?
Of course, and I know the answer. I'm just waiting on you, bro.
He said, "Of course."
I'm just waiting on you, pal.
He said,
"Who the hell is Joe Hall?"
We're gonna find out in just a minute. That's the beauty of this.
Not giving anything away to you.
Yeah,
I love this.
3-3. Damn, dude.
Are we ready to lock in an answer?
God, I guess.
Go ahead, Paul.
I'm gonna write down 2 answers.
Oh boy.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's all good. All right, who we got? Joe B. Hall. All right, Ian.
It's Roy Williams.
Okay.
It has to be Roy Williams, no?
Before I read the answer.
I was read the answer. He's a player.
Roy Williams only played JV basketball at UNC, but I'm going to let Trevor.
Yeah, but he played in like 1827 at this point. That's so long ago. I don't know.
All right. So Joe B. Hall won a national championship as a player at Kentucky, Kentucky, and also as a coach. So he was a Kentucky coach. Obviously, a lot of them that won national champions. Dean Smith. Can anybody tell me where Dean Smith won it as a player?
Kansas, no?
That is correct.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, Dean Smith won it as, and I'm double checking myself because I did have it in front of me on the other sheet and then didn't as afterwards. Yes, at Kansas, he was a player and won a national championship between 1949 and 1953, and also at North Carolina, won many of them there. Bob Knight, Paul, the question at hand here that you thought was the obvious, right? You're like, oh, maybe was it Bob Knight, right? Or was it Joe B. Hall? Bob Knight won, of course, where as a coach, everyone?
IU.
Give Indiana some credit, right? He, in 1958, or 1960, let me be clear, won a national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh.
Remember earlier we brought them up as the multiple choice. Things kind of tie together in this show, hilariously enough. Sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not. So to answer the question, the correct answer is Roy Williams. And I was just going to screw saying all that and kind of building it up. I'm trying to add a little extra minutes to the show here, but Ian took it right off the sheet. He played JV for UNC only 1 year from 1968 to 1969. That was it. Didn't play another year of basketball at North Carolina. JV only.
If that had probably been any other coach, I would not have known. I just know that Roy Williams did not play varsity basketball. So.
That's right. I almost threw in like any other top, like I just like Jim Boeheim, but it's like no, there's no reason, there's no way he would have ever played because I don't think he even played at a major college basketball program. But the point is Roy Williams, it was at least made you think enough, and if you didn't know, then it would have really made that even harder. So
I like it.
The fact that Ian knew, there's nothing you can do about that ball, but like. He wasn't supposed to know that. So let's just be upfront about that. He wasn't supposed to know that. Yeah, 4-3. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
This next one is my favorite format on the show. Question number 8. Guess that player by resume. I'm going to read you their resume straight off of sportsreference.com. And I'm not going to give you conference. I'm literally going to give you their collegiate, everything that they've ever done as an athlete. And I'm going to give you, because I think stats make the college one more fun. In the NBA, I just read NBA resumes. Didn't read any stats because I think it gave it away too much. But we've had some hilarious just answers. Things have gone well with this question. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to read you their resume, and you're just going to think for the next 3 minutes. And even with the voice, I'm going to read it as many times as I can in 3 to 5 minutes. Think, Don't really listen to me. You can ask questions if you'd like. Maybe don't give hints. We'll see what happens. All right. So this player was an AP Player of the Year, 2-time Consensus All-American, Wooden Award winner, Naismith Award winner, 2-time Player of the Year in his conference, 2-time All-Conference in his conference, and then he was the thing got cut off. He was all tournament team for his conference one time. So I want to make sure I read that right. In 127 games in his career, he averaged 18.2 points, 7.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 54, 36, 70 splits, and if you care, a 30 PPR. There's some other stuff, effective field goal percentage, win shares. I'm just not reading that because it's not going to help you. PER is kind of important, I think, if you understand how it gets calculated in college basketball. If you don't, it's okay. So I'm going to keep reading it. One-time AP Player of the Year, two-time Consensus All-American, Wooden Award, Naismith Award, two-time Player of the Year in the conference, two-time All-Conference, and one-time All-Conference Tournament Player. 127 games in his career, 18.2 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 54, 36, 70 splits with a 30 PER. I'm going to stop reading for just a second to give you a chance to collect your thoughts there.
Wait, can you read the splits again?
Yeah. 18. The percentages.
What's the percentages?
54, and I'm rounding down slightly, just 54.6, but 54.6, 36.7, and 70.1 from the free throw line. So I'm just trying to make it easier. 54, 36, 70. I'm just reading the first number that's there. And I will give you like I said, a couple minutes here. And I'm going to give you a hint that I think is valuable because there are no bonus point opportunities. Normally there's at least one bonus point opportunity. I was going to do it with the Ohio question. Didn't think it was probably fair or whatever. But I'm going to give you a hint that I do think is I'm going to give you a hint that I think is important because there's no bonus point opportunities. But I'm going to give you a few more minutes to think about it first before I do that. Then
okay,
I'll give you Nope. No, I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. I'll read them again. AP Player of the Year once, two-time Consensus All-American, Wooden Award, Naismith Award, two-time Player of the Year in the conference, two-time All-Conference. It's really hard reading it right off the screen because I almost blunder and read the conference right there. And then one time the tournament team of his conference. 127 games, 18.2 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 54, 36, 70 splits with a 30 PER. Where are we, do we have any inclination before I give you this hint?
I have one random inclination, but it's too hard. It's too much. I'm in like a vast ocean of players right now.
Okay.
In my mind.
They've played in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I think I'm very confident now in my guess. Now that you said
God,
that.
I don't know if he was AP Player of the Year, though. All right, hang on. Let me go. Right. Last 10 years. So 2013, Louisville.
Yeah.
They didn't have. Well, who was that? Like Edgar Sosa? No, that was after that. Who was that? That was Peyton. Right?
Did you say Edgar Sosa and Peyton Siva were National Players of the Year?
No, I'm
you
trying
never
to
know.
figure out who was on the 2013 team. Who was on
You never know.
Whatever.
Never know.
2014 was UConn. 2015 was Duke. But it's 127 games. 2016. Who's 2016? Carolina. 2017.
I love this talking. It's free space right here instead of dead space. Thank you. Love this.
I don't know. Who was 2018?
Oh, he's talking through it, huh?
Ian wrote it down immediately. I love this. This is so good.
I was hoping, like, I didn't think you were going to give us the decade or the time frame.
I normally don't. So before you lock, we're not locking anything yet. So normally we don't, to be fair. And by the way, all of the answers that have ever been given for this format of question in college basketball on the show have been in the last 20 years. And I never said it, right? It was always, this could be a guy from the 80s, but let's be clear, like, it's just always been that way. It's the first time I've ever revealed that. So I'm just like, you know what? I think this hint's important because there haven't been any bonus points. And I feel like this will help you get closer to it. I will say, I will be surprised if either of you still get this. This is also, I mean,
I'm putting myself at a 90% confidence meter right now.
And you've been pretty good with that so far. So, I mean, there's no reason to doubt that. So
I think.
90%?
90%. Yeah.
Don't overthink your answer. I'm going to give you 15 more seconds to lock it in.
There's one piece of those stats that had tipped me off, and then him saying last 10 years.
I do think if you have an idea, and I think the percentages will help if you once you hear the answer. I think once you hear the answer, you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get a locked-in answer. Yeah?
Is it me first?
I'm about to give you I'm about to get an answer from you. Yeah, Paul, go ahead. Go ahead and write one down before we get an answer from you.
All right, hang on. Let me write.
It was about 4.5 minutes, I think, if I did the math right. So we're good. We had some time there. I want to feel fair. I want to feel fair here. So
I go first.
Now I believe Ian's up.
It's me. You want me to go?
I'm
Frank
ready.
Kaminsky.
Okay.
Oh God, the rebounds are high. I know the rebounds are. No, he
You already locked in. Give us your answer.
36% from three.
Kimball Walker.
Kimball wasn't giving you 7 rebounds a game, brother.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, Kimball was a beast in college. Let's be upfront about that.
No, I'm not. No disrespect to Kimball Walker.
I will say this:
the player of the year. No way.
Frank is closer, I will say, to the answer. Neither of you are correct. I'm going to be upfront about that.
It's not Frank Kaminsky. No.
It's close, though. I really do think you'll understand in just a second. I'm actually going to look up Frank's stats since we're having this debate. Wow. Okay, so this is fun. I'm going to read you Frank's. Let's just have some fun here. Frank was an all-tournament player in the NCAA tournament, 2-time All-Region, AP Player of the Year, Consensus All-American, Wooden Award, Naismith Award, Rupp Trophy, Big Ten Player of the Year, 2-time All-Big Ten, 1-time All-Big Ten tournament team, Big Ten tournament MVP. But he only averaged in 144 games 10, 4, 1.5, and then basically the same splits. 50. He only averaged 4, and then he averaged 50. The splits were almost the same: 52, 36, 76. He only averaged 10 and 4 in college. Isn't that crazy?
I'll give you the deductive reasoning of how I got there. It's the amount
sometimes
of
winning
games.
is important.
Yeah,
the amount of how I got there was they clearly played all 4 years.
I was just thinking seniors.
Like how many 4-year guys won National Player of the Year in the last few years and averaged 7 rebounds a game. Shot could shoot a little bit from the outside, but now I need to know what the correct answer is.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a big guard.
If I told you this was a Big Ten player just like Frank Kaminsky, would you have another answer? This is not for any points. I just want to play with the answer a little bit. It is Luka Garza. The correct answer is Luka Garza. Wow, he was insane. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he put up, you could call it good stats, bad team, but Iowa was pretty good there in a little while. If I'd have told you it was a Midwest team, but he got the answer immediately when I said Big Ten. Yeah. I do think that once you realize that he was that good of a shooter, it kind of okay, but then what was the giveaway? I don't know. Someone texted me and said, use Luke Garza, and I said, sounds great, and I did it. So here we are. Actually, 2 people did. Some other honorable names were Kimball was the one mentioned. Shabazz Napier was another one. I'm like, nah, I want this to be recent enough for when they get it wrong, they'll be like, what? I should have known that. Oh, no, maybe. Man. I don't know. Maybe you should have. I don't know.
No, it's good. Because there's not – I mean, I'm trying outside of Luka and – Frank, I don't think there are any other 4-year national.
I do think I made it easier on you, to be fair, because the other option I almost went with was Frank Mason. And when you look at his college stats, stats are very, very low, and you're like, but he won so many things, it's kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. It was fun either way. I think
good question, though. Very good question.
Love the guess the player format. It's my favorite by far. All right, with 42 minutes in, we're going to get to question number 9. John Wooden coached 10 of UCLA's 11 championship winners. Who was the other coach to win a championship at UCLA? Okay. I need to know why you're laughing. Do you know this, or is it why I should know this?
Yeah, I should. This is. I feel like it's embarrassing to not know.
I will tell you this. I've never heard of this person in my entire life, and I've been following college basketball for 20 years. That's why it's question number 9. Now, UCLA fans can riot, but you're going to hear it and probably know it. So.
Wait a minute.
I think it's funny,
UCLA
and that's why
has not won since Wooden.
No, they've won. They won in 1994. I'll give you that.
Oh God. So Lavin came after that. Then Ben Howland.
Yeah, now you're losing me. I don't know. Yeah. I'll be real with you. I had to fact check this because I was surprised as well. Yeah, I knew that they had 11.
I think so.
He won 10.
He's still been he wasn't a head coach. He's been coaching recently.
You know who this is?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
and I'll give you the reason why.
I'm floored by the fact that he knows this because I promise you I had to look up who this person was. I genuinely did not know. I'll be upfront about my
no
contest.
hints for this.
I have 0 hints because I think it's hard as all get out. I think it's hard as hell. So I don't even know what I would get. I gave you the year. I feel like the year was a hint. I mean, I really do. I feel like the year was a hint, but I don't really.
I have something that I think that there's a connection point. I'm not going to say it till after the answer because it might give it away. But
okay, I like this. Just to be fair, I'm looking up his his reference page as a coach just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing or whatever.
You're saying he's coaching now?
Not he didn't coach last year, but he didn't coach last year.
I will plead the Fifth Amendment.
He was on a bench in a role. It's 2 years ago, I guess, would have been the last time he coached.
This is going to be really fun to see your logic. This is going to be so fun to hear your logic and see who it is, because that's what I love about this. You'll talk
there's
it
a
out.
connection point to Trevor here.
No, this is good though. This is good because here's the point: you're going to hear it and be, like you're going to talk it out, right? And whether it ages poorly or not, who cares, right? It's about the fact that, like, I'll give you a perfect example. Last week, I had my former co-host on, Josh, and a friend of the show, Grayson, who's been on a bunch of times. And John, we were talking about the highest. It was something about one of the highest contract. Or no, it was It was the only player in the last since the NBA merger to make All NBA first team, but not be an All Star in that same season. Which, by the way, is nuts to even think about. It's DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan's the answer, right? Because they were really good. He was really good. Centers were really bad. Yada yada yada. Right? Whole reasoning there. Josh went through this 15-minute explanation about the contract when the CBA went up and how Mike Conley was the highest paid player in NBA history at the time, and he would have had to have gotten that because he made All NBA first team. So we've had some insane reasonings for the answer to never be close, which is why I can't wait to hear your answer because you might be right.
Know the it's
you might as well just go. Like, I don't even have
I'm up for
write one down.
Write something down so I can give you the correct answer.
I hope we'll see what happens.
There's nothing. It's like a random.
I'm a little surprised you're not getting this.
When did Nolan Rich? Didn't Arkansas win around there?
It's UCLA.
I know, but didn't Arkansas win? Like right then?
Yeah.
I will plead the Fifth Amendment.
I don't know what that has to do with the question, but yeah,
I'm trying to go through
You're correct.
Why I brought that up is because you're telling me he won a national championship and then we've never heard this guy's name again.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Where did he go? What the hell happened?
We went a lot of places.
Don't worry. We're going over that. We're going over where this man disappeared on PlayStation.
Maybe he went.
Just write down a name.
By the way, I'm not Googling it. I'm literally just going off his basketball reference page. So, like, if he did anything after basketball reference didn't record it, then that's not my fault.
Write a name.
Write a name. I really want to know who you're going to write.
There's no names. There's no, I could write Tiger Woods for all I can. You know what I mean? There's no.
All right, we're going to go with Tiger Woods from Ball. Ian, who do you have?
Paul's answer. The answer is Jim Herrick, brother. Jim Herrick, who was most recently on Mark Gottfried's staff at Cal Northridge, of just a hodgepodge of NCAA violation coaches on one staff. Head coach at Georgia.
Jim Herrick.
Yeah.
So from 1979 to 2003, coaching at Pepperdine, UCLA, Rhode Island, and Georgia. And then apparently with Mark Gottfried, I did not realize that connection. Yeah. So thank you.
That's why I said, I was like, I've got a connection point with Trevor with NC State and Gottfried, but I wasn't going to say it then because
I try to put the Godfrey era in my memory like a really bad divorce that no one won in. And I try to just put it as like a 10-year-old child that just didn't experience it in their head. So, and I'm sorry if there's anybody out there that triggers them, but that's just how I try to think of the Mark Godfrey era. The correct answer is Jim Herrick if I didn't say it. I know who this is. He won a national championship for an all-time program. And you're asking to answer your question, 1994-95, they went 31-2, and then he coached one more year at UCLA, and then he went to Rhode Island immediately after.
Yep.
So and they went 23-8 at UCLA. So I don't really know what happened.
Fired?
I don't know.
No, it was
23-8 at UCLA in those last year.
No, it was a bunch of, it wasn't performance wise. It was, I don't remember what he went down for, but it was something with, I don't know if he was
bad.
I'm assuming he was paying players, but because it went him to, did it go him directly to Lavin?
I think it was Lavin in '96, wasn't it?
Yeah, it went him to Lavin. I'm pretty sure.
So I knew
Lavin to Howland.
Lavin to Howland. I knew those two.
Yeah.
And then he was at Georgia when they were ineligible for the conference tournament there in the early 2000s, which he probably had something to do with, I assume, without looking it up. I have no idea. If we're talking about this guy was getting in trouble for stuff, he's probably the reason. I know they couldn't make the tournament for a little while there. But he did lead them to he was ineligible for the conference tournament, but he led Georgia to three NCAA tournament berths there in the 2000s, which was crazy. So he was a winner most places he went, I'll be honest. But, yeah, Jim Herrick is the correct answer. Again, I thought it was hard enough that nobody would get it, but here we are.
No, it was good.
So before we get there we go. Perfect. We'll get a score update after the last question anyway, so that'll be perfect. Question number 10, with 10 minutes till the hour mark, and we'll get to the finale. What player has the most points scored in a single NCAA tournament game? This is no fun answer.
Game.
No
one game.
Single game. Who has the most points in a single NCAA tournament game all time? Not that this will help you, but I can't wait to tell you what the connection is on this that made me giggle. There's literally no help. Don't overthink it. I can't wait to reveal the fun thing that made me giggle when I found out the research of this. So it actually led to our finale question as well.
You're saying that doesn't help the answer?
It does not help you. Do not overthink what I just said. I'm just excited to tell you that there's a connection that I think was funny to me. Again, this show tries to be as connected as it can be with some of these questions. Sometimes it's by accident. The Ohio State thing earlier with the national championship with Bob Knight, that was completely on accident, to be fair. I would be lying if I took credit for tying the fact that Ohio State was an answer and Bob Knight was also related to that answer. So, or I guess a possible answer. But anyway. So, what player has the most points scored in a single NCAA tournament game all time?
Are we getting a hint?
I am not giving a hint for this question.
No,
I do think there's a significant hint that if I give you, you may get it, which will not make me feel good about it. Because the score is what?
5-3. Text me a hint.
Okay. You know what? What if I got to lose? The finale's pretty hard. If I told you this player was a number 1 overall pick, would that help you?
Oh, it would change my answer.
Okay. Sorry, Paul. Maybe changing the answer was bad for him. I don't know. We'll see. There's your hint. I don't think it, again, I think that might help you, but yeah, not game-breaking knowledge either. Number 1 overall pick. This player is also tied to something we talked about, which is hilarious. So can't wait to.
Yeah, I was going to say, this has got to be.
Kind of. Not really. You'll see. So yeah, we'll give it 30 more seconds. We'll give it to the 52-minute mark, which I know you guys can't technically see on your screen, but
I think I know this one. After the hint. But...
Sorry, Paul.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think. And I think this person also has a record that is near and dear to my heart.
Okay. Go ahead and get a locked-in answer from both of you. 52 minutes in. Paul, do you have an answer? Do you have an answer? Need something.
No, he wasn't the number 1 pick.
That makes it hard. Maybe the hint was actually harder or worse. I don't know. Yeah. So do you have an answer locked in, or are you still thinking?
No. Can I get a 30-second extension?
Yeah, good. Yeah, go ahead. I think the finale's hard, so I'm gonna give you a chance to get the right answer.
Number 1 pick, most points.
Throw it on, Paul.
All right, I'm just gonna go. I know this is wrong, but I'm not confident in my other one.
There's so many number 1 picks that were really good college players. There's got to be a good guess out there.
Wait, who's up?
You are.
All right.
Lock it in.
Sorry, no, wait. Evans is Ian. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
Going the Admiral David Robinson.
Okay, Paul.
I know it's wrong. I went with the Dookie.
Elton Brand. I love that. You're like, hey, we'll homer pick here. Yeah. So David Robinson has a significant record in NBA history because I think he had 69 points, to win the NBA scoring title. That was back when they used to get the MVP out like the day after the season when the votes got tallied. And that scoring title basically won him the MVP award. He did do that. I do know that for a fact. And it was in the 60s. This answer I'm about to give you is in the 60s. This player played for Notre Dame, which was a previous answer. And 61 was actually against you guys' Ohio Bobcats.
No way.
This is the hilarious connection. It's against your Bobcats. Notre Dame was an answer earlier, and this player played for Notre Dame. And let me make sure I got the pick right. Let me just make sure Basketball Reference is correct. Wow. The year that he was the number 1 overall pick. Do we know it? I've given you everything but the name. Do you know it?
No idea.
He was the number 1 overall pick in the 1971 NBA draft to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Austin Carr.
Austin Carr
of Notre Dame.
I would have never gotten that.
has the most points in a single NCAA tournament game with 61 versus Ohio in 1970.
Do you know who?
I thought you guys would know it, by the way, and then I saw the Ohio thing, and I said, I don't care if they know it. This is freaking funny. So I put it in there.
I originally thought Brandon Roy. And then you said the number 1 pick, and I was like, I know he wasn't the number 1 pick.
He was a top pick, but he wasn't a number 1 pick.
Yeah, don't ask me why Brandon Roy was in my head. I was just thinking of like, all right, who I wrote down Jimmer, Steph.
I had Jimmer in my head. That's if he hadn't said number 1 pick, I would have said Jimmer. The reason I went David Robinson was because David Robinson has the scoring record at the James Madison University Convocation Center while he was at Navy. And so I was like,
wow.
And I just remember, when you get the programs games and it's just got like all the stats, just the obscure, and it's Building's all-time scoring leader or in a game, and it was David Robinson. And so I figured, I was like, if he dropped a lot of JMU, they funneled the whole offense through him. But Austin Carr, isn't he the voice of the Cavaliers as well? Is he announced? I think he's an announcer.
Yes, he is.
All right.
I'm trying to see how out of pocket the Brandon Roy answer was. I'm trying to find his highest game on on Sports Reference or College Basketball Reference. It's not easy to find, unfortunately. So if anybody wants to do that in the comments, they can do that. It just shows me his total points he had in a year, which doesn't help me. I'm trying to find his scoring high, which for some reason is not a thing, which is really annoying because I would love to know. Totals is up there. He played 4 years at Washington. He was really good there. Dang it. I wish I could find his I guess I could Google it. But anyway, I'll do that while you guys are thinking about the 60 seconds question. So we're going to go and get a score update after question 10. That was a lot of fun.
Still 5-3.
Finale, so 5-3. Ian with 5, Paul with 3. All right. So the finale, and I'll be doing some Googling while you guys have 60 seconds, but I'm going to, for the sake of the guy on YouTube that has commented multiple times, I want the pen visible on the screen. This is not my rule. That's the guy in the comments rule. You don't have to hold it up. Just make it somewhere visible, right? Both of Ian's hands are behind the head. You're going to want to be ready to write, by the way, because you have 60 seconds from when I say begin. So just know you do not get penalized, right? So write as many answers, no wrong answers here, funny answers. I'd love to get whatever I can get out of your head. You'll be writing as many as 60 seconds as possible. And in the previous question, what we'll do is when I say begin is when you'll start. So, right? So I'm going to get the timer ready. And then as soon as I say the word begin at the end of the question, that's when you'll start writing. All right. Let me make sure my clock app is ready. Okay. All right. So no wrong answer, 60 seconds. In the previous question, Austin Carr was mentioned, obviously, for his scoring ability in the NCAA tournament. He scored a lot of points in his NCAA career. 2,560 to be exact. And this makes him part of the 2,500 Career Point Club. Pretty exclusive club. There's only 78 players to do so. Name as many players that have over 2,500 career college basketball points in their career. Begin. 60 seconds has begun. There's a little audio delay. I'll give you an extra 2 at the end there because that was my fault there. But don't think about me. Do not listen to me. I will be looking up Brandon Roy's college career high, and I'll be saying that hopefully in the next 60 seconds, and I'll give you a clock update as well. Let's see. His career high in college.
Over 2,500?
Over 2,500. Yep. All right. I do not see anywhere about his career high in college.
This is going to be hilarious.
If someone can find it, please let me know. Tweet it out. I'll put it in the next episode.
Oh, my God.
You have 15 seconds remaining.
Oh, my God.
And if you end the question in the next 10 seconds with half of their name written, I cannot count it. So just try to finish whatever you're on. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, my gosh.
This is bad.
Pins down, pins down, pins down.
That's
a really good about that.
Bad showing.
This was a really fun question because I think there's some names in there, but I cannot wait to get to it. So here's the way we like to do it around here. All right, we know what the score is, we know who's up, but who has more answers written down?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I have 7 answers.
Okay, so we're gonna go with the person that could potentially win it last, right, Paul? Because you're down a little bit. So we're gonna see what you need to catch. So Ian, we're gonna go with you. And what we'll do is we'll just go one by one, and I'll tell you whether they're right or wrong. There's 78 answers I've got to look through.
All right.
Paul, you can go ahead and mark if you hear one right or whatever. That's fine. But we'll still go through it one by one to make sure we hear all the answers. And like I said, I'll go. You're good. I trust you. And we'll go one by one, like I said, to make sure I don't miss any, and then also for the context if there's anything to go over about that person that's interesting. So I've got the list in front of me. Austin Carr. Did either of you write Austin Carr down?
No.
Okay, thank you, because I was not going to give you a point for that, so I'm glad you did not waste your time with that. Thank you. Always forget to say it. So, all right, go right ahead with your first answer, and I'll tell you where it's right.
First answer is J.J. Redick.
Okay, J.J. Redick is. Let me get down here to the bottom of the list to make sure I've got the mark where it ends, and then scroll up because I remember seeing J.J. He is 21st all time with 2,769 points. So that is correct, J.J. Redick. What's your next answer?
Ralph Sampson.
Ralph Sampson. You're going to make me do some searching here because this list is really big. We're going to go Command F. Go Ralph Sampson. He is 257th with 2,225. The 2,500 point club is exclusive, and I would have thought he would have been up there as well.
I would too. And man, that's tough. So Ralph Sampson's no.
Yep. Unfortunately not.
Now I don't think the next one's right, but I said Bill Walton.
Let's see.
He only played 3.
God, how did I not put?
Could be wrong, but
we're gonna go with Bill Walton is not popping up on this list whatsoever.
Yeah,
big for Paul. Big.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that might be crazy because we're talking about one of the best college basketball players of all time.
Yeah,
and he's not even popping up in the top. Let me just tell you where this list cuts off. He's not even popping up in the top. This is the 2,000 point club technically list. There's 655 players. He's not popping up at all.
he's at 1,700 career points. He's only there 3 years.
That's still crazy. I would have thought he
no
was
shot clock though. I guess hurts as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right, next one I know if it has to be Tyler Hansbrough.
Okay, let's double check. Let's see.
Psycho.
He is 16th all time in college basketball history in points in career, 2,872. That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Next one I know for sure as well. Antoine Davis.
Well, Antoine, yes, great. Good job on remembering your context clues. He is number 2, who probably should have passed Pete Maravich if that controversy had not happened with playing in a tournament. 3,664. Antoine Davis is correct.
And I'm an idiot that did not put Pete Maravich for whatever reason.
Me neither.
Next one, Jimmer Fredette.
No.
Jimmer Fredette. Let's find out. I know he's on here. It's just a matter of where.
Was he that good for that long?
Oh, he was 43rd all time in career points, 2,599. Jimmer Fredette. Every time I feel like I want to get a rush of nostalgia with college basketball, I watch Jimmer Fredette games. It's always fun. All right, next.
And this one I kind of paused, and I'm hoping, but I went Luka Garza.
Love that. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. Let's see.
No way.
Luka Garza is on the 2,000 point club list. He unfortunately is not in the 2,500 point list. 178th all time, 2,306 is his total.
How many did you get right? 3?
Nah, 4 right. I got J.J. Redick, Tyler Hansbrough, Antoine Davis, Jimmer Fredette.
Okay, right, so let's just make sure it's 9-3, and you've got to get 6 out of 7 correct here. Let's see how this goes. This is actually going to be fun coming down to the wire. So, all right, go right ahead.
I had JJ, so let me get my 1 point.
Go ahead and get JJ Redick out of the way. I won't even reread anything about him. So,
I had Christian Laettner.
Okay, let's make sure.
I went through the Duke legends. That's my first 5.
Let's find out. Christian.
Please.
There's no way he's 79th or whatever you said. How many?
He's 93rd with 2,460 career points. We're still going to get all the answers even if you don't win the game.
We need 4 more.
Technically, you do need 4. Right, yeah, you're
you
still
need 40 more points. You needed 40 more points.
Yeah, that's
so then if he didn't get it, did Grant Hill get it?
Let's see. Probably not, but let's find out. Grant Hill is not on the 2,000 point club list.
How about Bobby Hurley?
Oh, you really went down the Duke rabbit hole.
There's another one.
Oh, you're just asking, or are these your answers?
No, these are my answers.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I was saying. You went down the Duke list, huh? He is not on the list as well. He's not even in the top 656.
He scored 2,000 points.
He's not showing up on this list. Would he
Bobby
go by
Hurley?
something other than Bobby? I'm going to put in Hurley. Let's see. Yeah, no Hurley is on this list.
For 2000?
There you go.
He's not the 2000.
2,500, Paul.
No, I know, but he didn't even score 2000?
He's not popping up, yeah.
Impossible. Danny Ferry. I just went down to the 80s and 90s.
Ferry,
wow.
Yes. Danny Ferry, 342nd with 2,155. Did not crack the top. Crazy to think Danny Ferry had more points than Hurley and Grant Hill. Anyway.
Listen, man, I only had 60 seconds. Adam Morrison.
That is a name that is not a Dookie, but I do think it's interesting. Let's find out. The only Morrison that pops up in the top 600 is Dominique Morrison from Oral Roberts. He had 2,080, but no Adam Morrison, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then my last guess was Ray Allen.
Okay, let's see. He's been an answer, I think, 4 times now in some form or fashion on this show. Let's see. Ray.
There's no way.
Allen. Jesus Shuttlesworth is not on this list. So what is the final tally for me?
I think that Paul, how many did you get? 2?
1.
You only got JJ?
So 9-4, huh?
9-4.
Yeah.
The one that I'm mad I didn't get in there because I was thinking of him earlier was Chris Clemens, and we were talking about Campbell.
What about where's Kareem?
Right on cue, we're going to read the list because I'd like to at least just knock it out, bad voice or not, because I do think there's some names on here that are going to make you go, oh my God. So number 1, Pete Maravich, and I'm not even going to say the number. I'm just going to read them, and I'd love to read 78. I may not. We'll see what happens. So Pete Maravich is number 1. Antonio Davis, Freeman Williams out of Portland State in the 70s. Chris Clemens is 4th all-time from Campbell University. Shout out to Campbell University and Chris Clemens. Lionel Simmons, Alfonso Ford, Doug McDermott.
Yeah.
Oh.
Also in consideration for the question earlier for Guess That Player, but did not go with it. Yeah. Mike Daum out of South Dakota State. Daum from Daum, yep. From 2015 to 2019. Harry Kelly, Keedron Clark, Hersey Hawkins, Oscar Robertson, Danny Manning, Alfrederick Hughes, Elvin Hayes, Tyler Hansborough, Larry Bird. Indiana State.
Wow.
Yeah. He was up there, 17th. Otis Birdsong, Kevin Bradshaw, Allen Houston, Tennessee legend, J.J. Reddick, Marcus Howard, Hank Gathers. Apparently he played for 2 schools. I didn't realize that. Tyler Halls, Reggie Lewis, Darren Quinnen, Byron Larkin, Darius McGee, Liberty's finest. Got to see him play at the Portsmouth Invitational this year. Knew he was up there, but 28th all time. Jermaine Morrow from Hampton, Bo McCaleb, I think is how you say that. David Robinson. David Robinson. The Admiral was picked earlier, but not for this question. Wayman Tisdale, Tavion Kinsey from Marshall. Wow. John Elmore from Marshall, also from the TBT this year as well. Steph Curry. No Steph Curry love, huh?
I was like, there's no way, because I didn't think he averaged a lot as a freshman.
35 all time. Yeah. He's 35th with 2,635.
In 3 years. All right.
3 years. Threes, baby. Threes. Yeah. Troy Bell, Michael Brooks, Calbert Cheney, Indiana's finest there. Joe Dumars, Mark Macon, Don McClain, not to be confused with the singer of the American Pie song, Henry Domerkant, Jimmer Fredette, Terrence Bailey, Dickie Hemrick, Joe Jakobic, Calvin Natt, Derek Chivas, Skip Henderson, Andrew Godlick, whatever. Max Aidsmith. Godlick, thank you. Max Aidsmith, Austin Carr. The whole point of this question, 52nd.
Is in it, and he's, wow.
Yeah, he is. Johnny Dawkins, Reggie Williams. Wrong Duke guy there. Johnny Dawkins. Didn't throw that name in there. Reggie Williams, Sean Elliott. We're almost done with the list. Javon Jackson, Rodney Monroe from NC State. I did not know that. Holy crap. He had so many points. Calvin Murphy, Keith Van Horn, Frank Selvey, Willie Jackson, Steve Burt, Steve Rogers, Sean Respert, Andrew Toney, Jordan Howard, Ron Perry, Ronnie McCollum, J.C. Carroll, Mike Oliver, Tyler Hall, Bryant Stith, Fletcher McGee, Charles Jenkins.
How did I know Bryant Stith? That's tough.
Yeah, I would have never gotten that. Fletcher McGee, Charles Jenkins, Terry Taylor, Bill Bradley, Princeton's legend, there from 62 to 65, Caleb Green, and last on this list, but not last, period, of course, 2502 with Jeff Grayer. Some names that were just off that I thought were interesting: Bonzi Wells, Bimbo Coles, Garrison Matthews from Lipscomb, which is crazy to think out loud. Christian Laettner was 93rd, as we addressed earlier. Glenn Rice was 98th. Chris Mullen was 100th. Vernon Maxwell was 97th. And then after that, it gets into the hundreds, and there's really no names that I feel like. Kyle Singler was pretty close there, 115. Del Curry. And after that, like I said, it just goes off a cliff.
I almost threw Julius Hodge in there. I just looked it up. He only had 2,000. He had 2,000, but not 2,500.
Nice.
He was the problem.
Heck yeah. I have a random story about him that I always tell people when it makes me mad about it. But my first ever game was against Boston College, 2010 maybe or something like that, as a young-ish kid, I guess. And we were sitting like fourth row from the floor, and these girls had like a Julius We Love You sign. I think it was either his senior night or his like jersey retirement or something like that. It was some reason they were honoring him at PNC Arena, I guess RBC Center at the time. Long story short, I go to get Dippin' Dots at halftime like the little fat kid that I was at 10 or 11 years old. Julius Hodge comes walking up to those girls in that section. They're the row in front of me. She takes pictures with them, signs their sign, the whole thing. I'm still mad about it to this day. Have not ran into him since. So it is what it is. All right, congratulations, Ian. But good showing from both of you. I think this was a pretty tough quiz. I like to ask this question now that I remember it. I know we were going to maybe go over something, but I don't remember what it is. But what do you think you learned today? Was there something that you learned about college basketball? Either of you, Paul?
That I don't know half the guys who score well in college, but also. We should do a research project on the top. What did you say it was? How many players scored over 2,500?
70. I know there was a few ties in there, but the number on Basketball Reference says 78.
78. How many played after 1990? That's a trivia question. Because of the players you named, I don't know, maybe 25 of them, 30 played after 1990, which is wild. But it isn't, though, because everybody stayed 4 years back then. So it's like it is and it isn't. Like you didn't have a three-point line. Everybody stayed 4.
It kind of balances out history there. Ian, what'd you learn today?
I learned that Paul doesn't know Joe B. Hall is one thing.
Yeah, Kentucky fans can attack you in the comments or on Twitter. It's literally on the screen right now.
No, but I think Austin Carr gave Ohio buckets. That's probably the number one thing I learned.
The connection there was good.
Did not realize that. But we'll never forget that from now on. I promise you that.
Sometimes the jokes write themselves, and I was going to do that question regardless, like near the top, because it was like a recognizable name all time and also recognizable fact that it happened in a game. But also and then I saw the connection. I was like, well, let's just make this the finale. How many other guys have scored 2,500 or whatever? I started looking at it, and I'm like, this is great. And then the Ohio connection, again, the jokes write themselves. So I had a lot of fun, fellas. No real crazy outro here, but plug the show. I know, like I said, you guys have not come on here for actual college basketball conversation yet, but the season's starting up very soon. Got a lot of things working on there with House Enterprise, with college basketball for us on this side. So definitely looking forward to having some conversations with you guys moving forward. And we'll look forward to touching base here in a few weeks when college basketball starts to kick up again. So anything to plug on the way out?
No, man. Love it. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it, Trevor.
No recent shows or nothing? I mean, guys, like that.
No, we gotta get back on the horse.
Oh man, this is we're like dead zone right now. We get back after it in probably like a month or so.
All right, I'll do it for you. He had the creator of Home Field on recently, which I thought was a really cool episode. So shout out to Home Field. I should have worn some apparel, but it is what it is. I've got some in the way. Hey, text him and check on my order. I ordered it a few weeks ago and I haven't gotten it yet, so we'll see what happens. I'm kidding. But all right. Well, thank you guys. Everything will be linked below for them as well, for all the show, the socials, things like that. They're also on the screen, 9 to 4, as Ian's holding up on YouTube there. $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek if you're going to any sporting events, concerts, things like that. SeatGeek, top link in the top of the description takes you right to the app or the website to purchase that. Feel free to do that if you'd like. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it today. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Apple, a 5-star review and a rating will be greatly appreciated. At 2-pointers on all socials, we greatly appreciate the support. Hopefully one more Trivia Showdown. After that, you're getting all kinds of NBA previews. You're getting all kinds of college basketball stuff coming up. It's about to be cram season, baby. The magazine for ECB is coming out shortly. Pre-orders will drop on that at the end of August, so we're very, very excited about that. 260 some odd pages of college basketball. Your favorite team, including the Ohio Buckeyes. See, shame on me. Ohio Bobcats. No. I know. I'm sorry. I'm married into a Buckeye family. I'm sorry. The Ohio Bobcats, all the way to the Buckeyes, will be previewed in that magazine. If you're a fan of any team in between, it will be out there at the end of September. So this has been the Two Pointers Podcast. On behalf of Paul and Ian, I apologize about the Bobcats slip up. We will see you soon.